I'm currently in Casa Grande, Arizona, it's just outside of Phoenix. So I'm basically in Phoenix, Arizona. USA, baby.
I'm from Nova Scotia, born and raised. So now I live just outside of Ottawa in Canada.
I'm in the United States. I live in Kentucky.
I was born in Switzerland. I've been based out of New York since 2011, and I'm now calling from Seattle on Lake Union.
How can anyone answer that? One thing. Oh, my favorite thing was I think it was how much I healed through the process. Like it was a gift to myself, which I didn't see that coming. I think a lot of people have that mindset of like, I'm gonna share this and teach it and spread the word. And then you get in there and you're like, oh my God, this is so healing for myself. I didn't know I needed this. And that was my experience.
My favorite, okay, my favorite thing. My favorite thing was, well, I loved the self-paced aspect of it. Like that works really well for me. I think I originally told you it took me 2 years. It didn't take me 2 years. It took me a year almost. I just got the years wrong, but still, it's just like I could take like a couple month break and it was great that way. And I came back to it and just also, I think it's like they say 14% of people finish a course when they start it. And I just have a feeling that your numbers are way higher. So obviously you're doing it right. And I think just the amount of calls that you have available make it more accessible and easy. So I really liked that too. Just how much support there was throughout the week whenever you needed it. Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed the balance between the ancient traditions and the modern science and the constant discussion of the nervous system throughout the entire course.
Well, the first thing I'll say is this training is amazing. The depth of the information provided is so enriching, for one. So it really feels as if I felt as if I was entering the study of yoga in the deepest way, as I hoped I would. And I feel like there is so much more that I keep on discovering every time I reopen a lesson, even one that I have completed. So it feels so good to know that I have access to it for a lifetime as well. One of my favorite things about this training has been to witness the medicine of Yoga Nidra growing inside of me, sort of subtly, layer by layer, without really pushing, just taking it slowly and gently, and waking up one day and recognizing that, wow, actually, I understand how this is blooming through me, and I can provide this now. And this is super beautiful experience. And one of the things that I love most also about this training is that practicing so much did me so good.
I'm really stoked about how this is affecting my professional life because, as you know, I've been in the training for a long time. So over the last 2 years, I've been implementing Yoga Nidra techniques in a lot of what I already do, which is I teach meditation, but it's a lot more than that. A lot of what I do is about teaching people how to connect with their higher self, how to access higher consciousness, divine guidance, connect with their spirit, their guides, ancestors. Yoga Nidra is so effortless. It's like, I think a lot of people, when they first learn meditation, it's really hard because you're like wrestling with your mind. And this is like a backdoor in to altered states of consciousness and connection. So that's been amazing.
Yeah, the thing I like about Yoga Nidra is that there's a lot of fluidity and like openness to create. So I have never really been like an artistic or creative person up until this kind of opened up in me recently, like over the last year. So it's really nice because I can bring all those things into it. It's like tapping into the subconscious, like reprogramming parts of the subconscious and your limiting beliefs, and then bringing in breath work. You can even teach people how to take a proper breath. It's like you can do all of it because they're so, I wouldn't say suggestible, but they're more open, which is amazing. So yeah, it's just a nice way to bring it all together. And a lot of the things I do are upregulation, so like ice baths and things like that, power breathing. And so it's really nice to have a down regulation practice to also bring in some of those tools. Yeah.
I made a friend and she's, I believe now I forget where she is, like France or someplace. So it was awesome to meet people from different areas. And I like made a lot of connections. Like one of the girls, she was on my podcast. And so it was really great it hasn't aired yet.
Well, this particular setup is absolutely fitting to my life and schedule. So it felt really stable and consistent to know that it was there for me to join every time I could and wanted to, but also it was totally free and not a pressure and not an added to-do on my to-do list. The second thing I'll say is that I love the attentiveness of the mentors, and everybody felt like they knew me before I knew them and just remembered me. And I felt very, very held and included in that way, which I think was really special. And the third thing I'll add is the specific structure was so good for this kind of work and medicine that it's actually highly informing my own next version of my own course.
And I have only shared my final practice teach for the first time, just to friends and family. And one of my friend's moms called me out of the blue the other day, and she's like severely suffering with insomnia and inflammation to the point where she can't even walk because her ankles and feet and legs are so inflamed. And normally she sleeps for like 1 hour at a time sporadically throughout the night. And she called me the other day and she's like, I've listened to your meditation every night for the last week. And like, she was like, last night I slept from like 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. and I couldn't believe it. So just like that one thing was like, whoa. And that was like, it's not like she's like a client of mine. She's just like one of my friend's moms. And she was like, you have to tell like everyone about this. And all my friends are going to know about this. And we have to spread the word. And yeah, that's been really exciting, just getting people's reactions to the practice. So that so far is how it's impacted my work. And she's very skeptical too. She's like, I'm telling you, my attitude is like, oh, that won't work for me. And she was like, I would not be open to trying this, like, unless it was your voice and it was like you and someone I knew and trusted, because she's like, she's not into like yoga or whatever. And she was like, when you ask me my heart's desire, it's Jesus. Like, that's what it is. So like, that gives you a bit of an idea of like just the mental space that she's in. So for someone who's like almost like anti-yoga, anti-spirituality, and like very like by the book, like by the church, to have an experience like that was like, whoa.
Yeah, I think what I'll do, the way I envision this is I'll create lots of videos, and specifically I'll definitely do some for mindset. And the way I'm going to probably work it to begin with is have it at retreats, because my retreats are generally like cold exposure breath work, more upregulation. So I want to have that contrast. So I'm going to bring it in there and we can do mindset training with it in that context. And then keep it to YouTube and then just refer clients to YouTube to watch certain videos depending what they're going through.
I am a sacred intimacy coach, and I lead a course for women, 12-week journey on how to open up and experience the type of intimacy that heals. So in this course, there is 42 meditations that I created that are about 10 minutes journey to create that space in someone's life to connect with their own self. And I did this course, I created those meditations before I found your channel. And so I love to now listen back and recognize that I was doing very much Yoga Nidra in an uninformed way, but going through a body scan, and now I have re-recorded a few of those meditations, and I can just really see how the next iteration of the delivery of guiding people in this very, very intimate space with themselves has been informed by following this training, for sure. I have heard multiple times over that my voice and presence has been really soothing for people. So I think I just get a general good feedback on this. But since I took this training, I can tell that I've received feedback such as, wow, 10 seconds in and I'm hooked.
Literally, my friend last night was like, do you think I should take the training? She was like, I feel like I could teach yoga nidra. Like, do I need a training? And I was like, absolutely. I said, like, yoga nidra on the surface, like, it looks very straightforward, but it is an endless depth of an ocean. And what I told her about this training is that it's extremely valuable, not only like the cost, the bang that you get for the buck is like out of this world, not comparable to any other offering, I'm sure. But like just the amount of resources that are provided, the amount of knowledge, I was telling her, like, you get the yogic philosophy and dharma and the ancient wisdom, and then you get the modern neuroscience perspective as well, and all the research. And I was saying, like, there's so much you can use yoga nidra for that you don't even know that you can use it for, which is like why you need to take this training, because you're going to learn everything from reprogramming your subconscious mind to working with karma and sensing opposite emotions to healing the physical body and improving your sleep and your stress levels and hormones and all the things. So yeah, I would tell people that it's like beyond what I could describe, valuable and deep. I was like, the depth of wisdom, the depth of knowledge that you get from like a beginner's yoga nidra course is just incredible. And I told her, I said, my teacher Allie, like, she has studied under, multiple schools of thoughts and lineages, and she's kind of like combined all of that in this one offering, which I think is very unique, versus, if you were to just to study like under, one school of thought. Like, this is a broader approach, but also like a curated approach, and it contains like all of your wisdom and experience and Tina's, from the past, like, I don't know, like 20 years or something like that. So yeah, just out of this world valuable and deep, 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 and a deep dive into the self, what you get out of it, just with your own practice, and the dive into yourself is priceless.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that goes without saying, but yes. And because why? Well, because it's so well done, because the teachers are amazing, very supportive. The community is very supportive. It's just very open-minded and open, and you go deep. And basically, one of the great things is it sets you up ready to be able to actually use the tools in a, I want to say, ethical way. So like, not just like, I don't want to bash any other courses, but like a really quick way to get a certification. You're not always fully ready, even though you have the certificate, but like, I do feel people are definitely ready after this, which is really needed.
I would recommend it, and I already have. Like, I posted it in some group, like a Yoga Nidra Facebook group that I'm in. They were asking for training. It's a really thorough course. I mean, number one, it's really affordable. I mean, you already know that it's really underpriced. I think it's still underpriced. I mean, I'm glad I got in, but it's still way underpriced. I mean, the value for the money is ridiculous. And I think it's just a really authentic course. Like, it's a course made from love and like embodiment and truth, really. And so like, it's not, I've taken some really bad courses out there. That's not what this is. This isn't a course that people made for money. Like, this is the course people made, that you made to spread the love of yoga nidra.
Absolutely. 1000%. I don't think you can go wrong. It is doing yourself a favor. That's what I would tell them. You're in good hands. You're in your own medicine. You're going to be basking in your own medicine and being so held by people that have walked the path for many, many years, many, many centuries. So no doubt, join. That's what I would say.